Welcome to the Virginia Association for Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers Virtual College Fair. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as the facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. The first, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions for our amazing presenters at any point throughout our session today. Second, your camera and microphone are muted, so we are unable to see or hear you. Third, this is just one of many different sessions that we're offering, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, and you'll have access to that recording within about a week or so. With that said, I want to introduce our first presenter, UNC Wilmington.
Thank you so much. Well, good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Let me share my screen here, get my slide up. My name is Paul Willaborza. I'm a senior admissions coordinator at UNC Wilmington. Hopefully you can see my screen here. And I'm super excited to be with you all tonight. UNCW is part of the UNC system down in North Carolina. So there's actually 16 universities in the UNC system. We actually are joined by our mountain brethren over in Asheville as well today in the same presentation. So that's pretty fun. UNCW is the coastal university of the UNC system. So we're located in Wilmington, North Carolina at the very southeastern point of the state. We are one of the more competitive schools in the UNC system, but also one of the smaller schools in the system. We sit at around 18,000 current students, 15,000 of which are undergraduates. So our focus is with our undergraduate students. We pride ourselves on our faculty being here for the undergraduate students, and our internships, scholarships, extracurricular activities are really catered towards our undergraduate students. We have a whole host of majors that students can choose from as well at UNC Wilmington. Some of our more popular ones are here on the top right of the screen. Those range from our core sciences like marine biology, environmental science, and coastal engineering, which is one of our brand new programs. But we also have strong programs in our business school with 16 different concentrations, our health sciences with nursing and the other fields in the health sciences, and then also some of our creative arts. So film studies, communication studies, and digital arts are all popular programs as well. You really can't go wrong with a major at UNCW. And the nice thing is that you don't have to declare your major until your sophomore year. Most students will not declare until they're in their second year at UNCW. And so it allows you to really find those multiple interests throughout that freshman year as well. We have a little bit about our application process here in the middle of the screen as well. We do require test scores for students that are applying. Now for this past year, it was optional, but for any students in the call today that are juniors and will be applying next year, we will likely be requiring those test scores. So please plan to schedule to take those tests if you are able to in the upcoming year. If things change and the testing availability isn't very popular or available for most students, we may change that in the upcoming year. But for now, we are planning to require those test scores. We have a ton of applied learning at UNCW as well. This is something that we really pride ourselves on as a university. So again, touching back to our smaller size, we really want students to get involved with as much applied learning as possible. So that looks very different depending on the student, depending on the major, and what they're interested in for career goals. But we have a whole host of our undergraduates that are working in scientific research facilities, both on our campus and in the surrounding area in Wilmington. We have a number of our students, a good portion, I should say, that are studying abroad in a normal year. And like you say on the screen here, we have over 1,000 programs in close to 60 different countries. And we have a number of students that get engaged with internships and career opportunities, part-time jobs while they're students on our campus as well. So there's a whole host of getting that experiential learning that's going to help in any type of career setting as well. And that'll be a core element of your academic curriculum as well. The Honors College program here is noted. That is something that we encourage students to do as well. There's a number of financial benefits that come with our Honors College. We offer scholarships up to around $5,000 for some of our honors students, and that can be renewable for 3 years as well. So check out that information on our website, as well as the number of different webinars and such that we have on our main UNCW website as well, if you're interested in those specific programs. We have 2 different deadlines for students. So again, if you're a junior that's planning their application process for the upcoming year, know that we have 2 deadlines. November 1st is our early action deadline, and February 1st is our regular decision deadline. All right, so if you feel confident about your application come this fall, we would encourage you to go ahead and plan to apply early action, but you can also wait until the spring of your senior year to apply for regular decision as well. And we have two specific ways that students can apply. We can apply through the Common Application of North Carolina. That's more popular for local students here in North Carolina, but the Common App is also accepted as well. So if you're not familiar with the Common App, I would recommend you get familiar. Many of the universities I'm sure tonight that you'll hear from utilize the Common App, and it saves you as the applicant a lot of time in filling out a lot of the same information over and over again. But I know I'm approaching my time, so if you do have any questions about UNCW, please reach out to us. Our office is offering Zoom appointments. We're doing webinars throughout the spring as well. If you go down to on the bottom right here, you can see our main contact information. Send us an email if you'd like to set up an appointment with us. We're happy to meet with families one-on-one. And we also offer opportunities to, like I said, join webinars where we're doing multicultural events, admission events. We do have tours on our campus right now in person. So if you're interested in coming down and seeing us by the water, we'd love to have you. And overall, like I say, it's a great time to jumpstart that college application process if you're planning to apply next fall as well. But I'm going to turn over my time here. I'll be in the Q&A for the remaining part of the hour here. So if you do have questions, feel free to message me in the Q&A, and I'd be happy to answer anything about our programs, about campus life at UNCW, or the application process overall. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next presenter is Falmouth University.
Hi everyone, my name is Jackie Christopher and I'm with Falmouth University. And Falmouth University, we're a pretty unique university compared to the other ones here. We are based in Southwest England, which I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. So who we are, we're not only are we an English university, but we're also a creative industries university. And what does that mean is that we really focus on the creative industries and give you that firsthand experience in the industries so you can be successful after you graduate. We were established in 1902 as a school of art. We gained university status in 2012, and we're a small, medium-sized university with approximately 5,000 students. And because we're a small, medium-sized university, you have the opportunity to have smaller class sizes, and at the average class size is 15 students per class. We have two campuses, 15 to 20 minutes apart, and all students can access facilities on both campuses for cross-departmental projects. We're #1 in the UK for graduates starting or running their own businesses. And remember, like I said, we're giving you all those skills and access to employers and to start to be a freelancer and so forth. And we're the second safest university in England and Wales. So as I was saying, we're in England, and we are in the southwest of England in a beautiful county called Cornwall. So if you've never been, you've probably seen plenty of pictures about us all over the internet. It's very touristy, picturesque. There's a lot of options for students to go surfing, sailing, hiking, and more that you would normally get to experience in the rest of the UK. Falmouth is a beachside coastal town. There's a vibrant student life, and the closest airport is Newquay, which is 40 minutes away, but approximately 5 hours away from London by train. And we do offer an airport collection service for all our first-year international students. And life in Falmouth is super affordable. Cornwall is one of the cheapest counties to live in the UK. Transport and entertainment are affordable. Part-time jobs are easy and easy to find and abundant, especially because it's a touristic location. Because you're on a student visa, you can work up to 20 hours a week during term time, but during non-term time, you can work up to 40 hours a week. The university also employs students on a part-time basis, cafeteria, cafes, cleaning, student ambassadors, and more. And these are 9 diverse departments. Like I was saying, it's more focused on the creative industry. So Academy of Music of Theater Arts, all the way up to the School of Film and Television. And just to let you know, because we're an English university, our bachelor's degrees are 3 years long. So the reason for that is you're going directly into the degree. You're not doing any prerequisites. So if you're doing fashion and textiles, you'll never have to do a math or science course again. You're only focusing on the fashion and textiles specific classes. And the facilities are industry standard and very accessible. Because we're creative industries, the university, we want to make sure that you really get that professional experience, that really hands-on equipment that professionals are using today. And students can borrow equipment for free in departmental stores. We have 2 libraries with IT suites, including 24-hour library on Penryn campus. We have an on-campus art shop, and students can order heavy materials to the campus. And because we are focused in the creative arts, we have a very vibrant creative community. As you can see, there's all these different students in different mediums and facilities, and they do tend to co-collaborate together. And we also have workshop and festivals on campus. Workshops are constantly, but the workshop festivals are twice a year, where students can delve into different subjects, not just within their department, but in other departments as well, and develop their skills in a specific area that they're looking to develop. And we have careers and employability. We have a careers office on campus called RealWorks. And we assist you from the first year all the way up until graduation. Weekly workshops and specialist events, online tools, resources, and we help support you finding work placements, jobs, and developing business ideas and going freelance. So just to tell you about our entry requirements, so because we're creative arts focused, we do not require SAT, ACT, or APs. But we do, the main bulk of your application, we want to see your portfolio and then an interview. Academics are important, but we want to get a real understanding of that you have the subjects. And we do have student accommodation available. Every student has their own room. They're not sharing a room with any other students. We do have alcohol-free and meat-free accommodations available. And it's guaranteed for all first-year international students. And you can choose to do en-suite too, so you can have your own bathroom and shower. But like I said, you have your own room. You're not sharing a room with any other students. Now you can apply either through UCAS, which is like the UK Common Application, or you can apply directly to our free online application. My name is Jackie Christopher. I'm based in New York. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach me. I am happy to help.
Thank you, Falmouth University. Up next, we have UNC Asheville.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Sarah Moore, and you have heard from Paul on the coast, and now you get to hear from me in the mountains. I work for UNC Asheville, and we are the Liberal Arts and Sciences institution for the UNC system. It means something different to every student, but I like to say that we are the UNC Systems campus for critical thinkers and creative problem solvers. And so what we do at UNC Asheville is take a very experiential and interdisciplinary approach to your learning. And so because nothing happens in a bubble in an increasingly interconnected world, we want to teach you to see connections within and between disciplines, because we think you'll be a better biologist if you can have informed conversations with a sociologist. A lot of the ways that we are able to do that is with our small class sizes. So we have about 3,300 students on our campus, a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and an average class size of about 20. And because we are a primarily undergraduate institution, all of our courses are faculty taught. And so not only are you not getting lost in the back of a 300-person lecture hall, but you, from the first semester of your freshman year, are learning from people that are experts in their field and that are committed to helping you find your calling, even if you're not sure what that is yet. Because I mentioned the connection and collaboration within and between disciplines, a lot of our academic approach is found in spaces that we have on our campus that really intentionally provide those opportunities for students to work together in creative ways. The picture that you see on my screen is taken inside of our STEAM studio, which is a makerspace for our art students and our engineering students to work collaboratively on different projects. And so that's just one example of the unique ways that UNC Asheville works on making sure that our students are able to get a really interdisciplinary, but also hands-on experience during their time here at UNCA. Another cornerstone of our academic program is our undergraduate research program. So even though we are not big enough to be an R1 institution, we still have about 70% of our students complete original research while they're at UNC Asheville. And we even founded the National Conference on Undergraduate Research. So while we have students present at the conference every year, we also get to host the conference once about every 10 years. Students also get to publish their research every year, or even sometimes profit from the work that they do as part of our undergraduate research program. And so there's a real wealth of opportunities contained within that program. And again, it is reserved for our undergraduate students to make them better prepared for master's programs or for the workforce that they choose to go straight to work when they finish up at UNC Asheville. Of course, you'll come to school to study. Here is a list of our majors. Our most popular programs in terms of enrollment are going to be biology, psychology, management, which is our equivalent of a business degree, but it is still accredited by the ACCSB, which is one of the most elite accreditations that a business program can obtain. And then also our environmental studies and health and wellness promotion programs are our most popular, but some of our more unique programs at UNC Asheville are going to be atmospheric science, an engineering program. We actually have two. I'll talk about those in just a second. And then our music technology program is also very unique. We have a recording studio on our campus and two of Michael Bublé's band members on our faculty. We also have these list of minors. I mentioned the engineering programs. One of those is a pre-professional program in partnership with NC State. The first is a mechatronics engineering program. So students get to spend all 4 years at UNC Asheville and still obtain an engineering degree from NC State and UNCA. The other is a 2+2. So students who don't want to go straight to a campus with 30,000 students can start at UNC Asheville, get their liberal arts and sciences core coursework out of the way, and then apply to transfer to NC State to finish out their engineering specific coursework. The last thing I want to mention here is our teacher licensure program. So we don't offer a degree in education, but what we will do for students, for example, if you wanted to be a high school English teacher, is we'll have you major in your content area, which is English. And then we will put you in the licensure program so that by the time you graduate from UNC Asheville, you have hands-on experience, you've been in the classroom, you're fully qualified to teach in 48 states. But in the event that you get into the classroom and decide that's not where you want to spend your entire career, you don't have to go all the way back to square one because your degree is in something other than education. Outside the classroom, this is definitely the hardest thing for me to sell on Zoom, but we get to call the city of Asheville home, and I think that it is a real special place. It provides all of the comfort of a small town with all of the convenience of a big city as a national and international tourist destination. And our campus itself sits in a really sweet spot. We are, on the one hand, less than 2 miles from the heart of downtown, where the best of the cultural life that Asheville has to offer in terms of concerts and art galleries and restaurants are just right around the corner from campus. And it's about a 5-minute bus ride. And then students are able to ride the city bus for free with their student ID. And so even though first-year students are allowed to have their cars on campus their first year, they don't even have to take their cars off campus and pay for parking to experience the best of what the city has to offer. And then on the other hand, we are about 10 minutes from the Blue Ridge Parkway. And so hiking, biking, camping, just about every weekend we have trips that will go out kayaking, caving, rafting, any opportunity that you want to take to explore the outdoors, that opportunity exists through our campus recreation department. And those exist both in the form of organized trips, and also we have opportunities for students to rent gear so that they can go on their own or with a group of friends, as long as it's nice. And that is usually included the cost with tuition. And then we also offer ski and snowboard trips in the winter. We are a Common App and CFNC application school. I do want to make sure I point out that we have an early decision plan instead of an early action plan. And so students need to be mindful that once you decide that UNC Asheville is absolutely where you want to be, that we are going to be, we have the early decision option. And so make sure that you are committed to attending UNC Asheville if you submit that application. But then we have the regular decision option as well. And then there is my contact information. The best way to get connected with us is to come see our beautiful campus. And we are and have been open for tours. So we look forward to seeing you guys very soon.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have the Cooper Union.
Thank you, Jasmine. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as well. And please just bear with the fact that it's not full screen. It will make my computer crash. My name is Hilary Fernandez, and I'm here with the Cooper Union. And Cooper Union was founded in 1859 by Peter Cooper, who believed that education should be free and available to the masses. And we hold that as one of our true values today, not entirely free, but about as close as you can get for a private school education. So my name again is Hilary Fernandez. My email address is there. And our campus, we are located in the East Village. This is the foundation building, which was one of the original buildings in the East Village of Manhattan. And the East Village actually has now grown up and surpassed us in height, but for the longest time, we were the tallest building. The very modern looking building is what houses our engineering school, and we only offer programs in engineering, art, and architecture. So that entire building houses engineering, a different discipline on each floor. And the foundation building is where you'll find our art and architecture programs, as well as our studio space for people in those majors. And the tallest building there is our residence hall, which is a block away. We offer housing in the residence hall to students from only in the freshman year. So nothing beyond that. After that, we launch you out into New York City, but we help you find affordable housing while you're there. So again, we were founded in 1859. Peter Cooper believed that education should not only be free, but should be available to anybody who wanted it. And we continue in that discipline with really focusing on ensuring that all of our programs are balanced in terms of gender and racial equality. Our values, we have a very small student to faculty ratio. We are under 1,000 undergraduates total across our 3 schools. So the largest student classroom that you'll be sharing will house only 30 students, but nearly every program is smaller than that. We also have active engagement in New York City and the East Village, where you can take your learning beyond the classroom. I'm going to talk specifically about each of our programs, starting with the Albert Nurkin School of Engineering. We offer majors in chemical engineering, civil, electrical, mechanical, and general engineering. The first 4 are ABET accredited degree programs where you'll receive a degree that enables you to practice within the field. And the 5th, the general engineering, is a track that students take if they want more of an interdisciplinary approach to engineering and are going to utilize it in a different field, such as law or finance. It isn't, though, an undeclared major, and we do require that students declare which of the engineering tracks they want to focus on at the time of application. We really offer and focus on project-based interdisciplinary coursework. It's very important to us, as you heard from UNC Asheville as well, that collaboration occur and that you learn from others in different disciplines. It is one of the best ways to make sure that your education carries you outside of the classroom. We have a number of research opportunities. Students can start participating in research as early as their freshman year. And we also offer an integrated 4-year bachelor's and master's program where you can achieve both of those degrees within a 4-year period. Moving now to the Irwin Channon School of Architecture. It's a 5-year professional Bachelor of Architecture degree. We are a NAB accredited program, and we have a design focus in our architecture program. You're going to find no more than 25 to 30 students per class, but all of the students operate within this design area that's open across the different years of the architecture program, where you can learn from one another, those who are farther beyond you in core courses and those who are just starting out. And there are 3 faculty members per design studio in the architecture school. The School of Art is a Bachelor of Fine Arts integrated program. We do not have majors in the School of Art. You're going to take core courses amongst all of the different disciplines that we offer. And those, again, small class sizes are going to happen. We also really focus on critical thinking skills and find that the humanities are the best ways to enforce that across the different disciplines. So we offer humanities coursework, through all three schools, and students operate in those, regardless of whether you're an art student or an architecture or an engineering student, you're going to take those core courses together in the humanities. And all of the students at Cooper's School of Art receive studio space in the foundation building for all of their years after their core freshman year. We also have a number of distinguished artists on our faculty. Beyond just the three schools, we have our Humanities and Social Sciences program, as well as the Center for Writing. We offer minorities in humanities, minors, excuse me, in humanities, computer science, and mathematics for any of the three schools, and interdisciplinary electives that bring the three schools together to work on solving issues around smart cities, drone design, etc. And then student life. Talked about the residence hall. We also have a very active peer mentorship program and a study abroad program that operates in the summer around a research problem that you work on with a faculty member. Student government is very active, and we have over 80 clubs that are offered, and students decide what those look like. Life after Cooper, students work on that all through their time with us, starting with internship guidance in their freshman year, and nearly every student at Cooper does do an internship during their time. We also are working on the common application. Sorry, that says transfer application, but it's actually the common application. We are SAT and ACT test optional for the next year, and we require transcripts, letters of recommendation, and then school-specific supplemental materials that you would be advised of if you attend one of our information sessions for more in-depth information. So thank you so much for your time. Good luck to all of you, and take care.
Thank you, Cooper Union. Up next, we have George Mason University.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Josh Price. I am an admissions counselor at George Mason University. It's so exciting to tune into this. I get excited every time that I get to do this and also talk about George Mason, okay? So I did say that I'm an admissions counselor at George Mason University, but I also studied at George Mason University as well, studied communications and conflict analysis and resolution, and I love the many advantages that Mason has to offer. If I am talking about Mason, I talk about it through the lenses of experiential learning. That includes our research, our diversity, our community, and also our inclusion in that sense, okay? So there's just a few things that I do want to go over. One thing that I can say initially is that our campus or our university started in 1957 as a branch campus. We became our own independent university in the 1970s and have expanded into what we call the present time George Mason University, which has done a great deal within the past year. So we're relatively young, but we have done a great deal within the time that we've been in status. So one thing that I can say about George Mason is that we are located about 15 miles outside of Washington, D.C., so a relatively urban environment. We are, so as you kind of get closer and closer to D.C., the more and more urban it gets. There's lots of attractions, restaurants, but one of the biggest things that I like to point out is that there's so many different job and internship opportunities with regard to the different industries in the DC metro area, because there tends to be a variety of different internships and job options that you can pursue. And that says a lot about our pretty much our attraction to the networking aspect of things. So if I could say about maybe some notable facts, present facts about George Mason, we are the largest public research university in Virginia. We are elite in the way that we have a R1 designation status, meaning we are a tier 1 research institution. So we have over $200 million worth of research going into all of our different academic programs. So there's a lot that we're doing there. We have over 39,000 students in total. So we are the largest public institution in Virginia. So we're relatively large, but every time that I say that we're large, I like to address the fact that we're small when it's needed. So that it includes our organizations, our class sizes, noticing that we have a 16:1 student to faculty ratio. So there's a lot of different connections that we do have at George Mason with regard to the size that we are. We have the youngest law school in the top 50. So I did mention young. We have the second largest residential campus in Virginia, and we're represented by all 50 states in over 139 different countries. So we are the most diverse institution In Virginia, we're actually ranked at number 15th in the United States. So there's a lot that we're doing with regard to diversity. So if there's anything that I can say, there's a buffet of different academic opportunities that we're offering for our students. Every single academic program is robust. Students take advantage of it. So I don't like to kind of pick and choose which ones over the other in the way. So if I had to say anything, we have over 80 undergraduate majors, over 200 minors and concentrations, and over 55 accelerated master's programs. So there's a lot to explore in that sense. So pretty much we do have the academic advisors that kind of help you tailor some of those different options that we have towards your specific insights and also your path. So that's the key thing there. But if there's anything that I wanted to kind of take forward a little bit towards you is that we do have relevant student experiences. We have our study abroad experiences, and there's numerous opportunities that come with that in different shapes and sizes. So we have over 150 study abroad programs in over 75 different countries. When I say all shapes and sizes, there are students who go a week long, month long, year long, depending on the type of program that it is. We even have a freshman program called the Global Gateway Program for students who are interested in studying abroad their first year. And so they'll take a class and then study abroad in somewhere like Thailand, South Africa, Australia, Morocco, tons of different opportunities where our students can pursue. And some of the benefits with study abroad, if I can say, there's the financial aid benefit and also the credits that you receive as well. But if there's anything, I love talking about community when it comes to George Mason, noticing that I did live the experience. We have over 400 student organizations and clubs with regard to academic-based, interest-based, community-based, identity-based, you name it. You can even start a student organization of your own. But we also have 20 NCAA D1 teams. So we have varsity sports, intramural sports, as well as club sports as well. So if you played a sport in high school, there are those opportunities there. And we also have the top #1 pep band in the nation. So if you've ever heard of the Green Machine, look it up because they're jamming every time that I listen to them. So if you have any questions with regard to the student experience, we do have our website. Let me know. I live the Mason experience. So that's kind of the key thing there. And the next thing that I like to mention with regard to the application process is that we take a holistic approach to review. It's like going to a Cold Stone Creamery. There's lots of different things, lots of different options to take a look at. So when it comes to that, whatever benefits your application is very advantageous. We are a score optional institution. So these are the things that matter, but you're more than just a number. We take a holistic approach to review. We are score optional. So those are the notable things to offer. Early action deadline is November 1st. Continue to get connected with us on social media. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at admissions@gmu.edu. And also, we are hosting lots of different virtual experiences, so feel free to go to our website at that. So thank you so much for your time. Best of success to you. Work hard, and let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. Thank you so much.
Thank you, George Mason University. Up next, we have the Art Academy of Cincinnati.
All right, awesome, thank you. I'll go ahead and share my screen really quickly. All right, awesome. So my name is Danielle. I'm an Art Academy of Cincinnati admissions counselor. I was also I am an alumni of the school. I graduated with a degree in art history and painting. So not only can I tell you a little bit about how it is to be an admissions counselor and to help you get here, but also about my time as well. And with this, I think, we've heard from a lot of different creative institutions. There is a possibility to have a career in art and even go to art school. So hopefully by the end of my presentation, I've been able to really convince you 100% that going into an artistic field or just art school in general is completely worth it and really life-giving as well. So I'll go ahead and jump right into our majors and minors. So really it looks like a pretty petite list, but at the same time, there's going to be a very expansive way of thinking about all these majors and minors. So say you come in and you want to be a design major. Well, you can take classes in drawing and painting, sculpture, photography, animation, because we'll have a transdisciplinary program. And that's just like kind of a fancy way of saying whatever you want to learn about, you are able to do. We even have a consortium with a few other universities in Cincinnati to where, say, maybe if you want to take something we can't offer like maybe like cat hieroglyphics that maybe, you know, we just can't offer that class, you're able to take it at another university for the same cost as going to the Art Academy, because we want you to be able to learn about everything and anything you can. And this is kind of a breakdown of what your time is like at the Art Academy. So 2/3 of your time is going to be in the classroom or your studio, and then actually working on studio artwork. And then 1/3 of your time is going to be focused on liberal arts. And that's basically a lot of reading and writing, a lot of critical thinking. And at the same time, you know, we don't have you take any sort of generalized math or science class. Every class you'll take at the Art Academy is going to be focused actually on art. So you'll have classes like history of tattoo design, history of video games, and so on and so forth too. So the best highlight of our building is actually going to be our artist studios. And this is something every senior and junior will have access to. And this is going to be up to 3 to 4 people, usually best friends who work really well together. And with that, that's going to be a space for you to reflect, relax, and create. Because we have more or less like a master's program when it comes to our fine art, and because we want you to feel as open and relaxed to create too. And it's also really great because our building is open 24/7. So if you want to come in and work at 3 p.m. or 3 a.m., you're more than welcome to do so. You may be also asking, well, where are freshmen and sophomores? You're mainly going to be in the classroom working one-on-one with your faculty members and your peers. But once you get into junior and senior year, you're a lot more self-guided and directed too. And to let you know as well that we are a more petite size school. We actually are just one building with around a 200 student population. That can go anywhere from 190 to 215, but 200 is usually our sweet spot. So it's very easy to get around our building as well. And so once you actually take introductory classes to all the different majors or even electives, you're able to go back into that studio or that lab as many times as you'd like over all 4 years as well. And we are located in downtown Cincinnati, more specifically the neighborhood of Over the Rhine. And it's actually going to be a really easy city to get around in. We have a streetcar, but also you'll have access to really wonderful restaurants, cafes, shops, art stores, and also groceries as well. And you may be wondering, you know, well, what kind of job placement in there? What kind of internships can I get? And with that, we start your sophomore year to really work one-on-one with you to say, you know, where can you see yourself, not only in a career field, but also in a gallery setting? You know, do you want to be a gallery artist? Do you want to work in a tattoo shop? Do you want to have your own design firm? Or do you want to work for a large company doing illustrations? We really help push you forward to think about what is best for you and how can we get you there as well. And so our application process is very straightforward. So we have the common application, or you can find our application on our website, which is 100% free. But I will let you know it is important to know your GPA when you do apply, because we actually don't have you send a transcript until you're actually graduated. So we just take your self-reported GPA and then also your portfolio. And the portfolio is 8 to 10 pieces of art or creative writing or design. And with that, we want to see what you do best. And it can also be a mix of different types of media as well. And the biggest part that I like to tell students is make sure it's the best work you do, because that's where the entry scholarship comes from. And that's awarded to every student who is accepted into our program. And that's anywhere from $8,000 to $16,000. And so we really want to reward you and help you feel encouraged and empowered to come to the Art Academy. And we know financially sometimes it's hard, so we try to help you out as much as possible. And that's also where our tuition promise comes into play, where the tuition you come in as a freshman will follow you until you're a senior. So you don't have to worry about every year your tuition costs rising or fees rising. That way you can come in and just take a sigh of like, okay, I know this is my budget. And also you're more than welcome to come take a campus tour, or in case you want to be a little bit more virtual, we have virtual tours available as well. Either one is totally fine. So you can head us up at our website at artacademy.edu, or you can check us out on Instagram or Twitter, Facebook, whatever you like to hang out on. But I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. With that said, that concludes the presentation portion of our college fair, but now we are going to transition to the Q&A. Feel free to continue adding questions in that Q&A section, but I would love to invite all of our panelists to return. Feel free to turn your cameras on, and I'm going to pose a couple questions while our attendees are typing their questions in that section. Our first question here, feel free to respond in the way in which you presented, but the question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
Yeah, that's a great question. Probably my first piece of advice would be to think about your writing earlier rather than later. I think I speak for all of the colleges here today that have some type of writing element on our application, and most of us are going to utilize some type of holistic review process, okay? The writing can be a big element in which you can make your application more competitive. So I always tell students that if you are beginning that process, start with the writing, because that's something that you can work a lot on and review and edit and continue to improve throughout your junior and senior year, and to have it in a really strong spot by the time that you apply. Most of us might have one or two different essays, and they typically are different questions too. So make sure you're reading the question and answering uniquely to that school. Most of us, I think, have an idea or some type of question that will say, why do you want to come to our university specifically? And making sure that you're talking about specific things that are at that university as opposed to others is really, really important. So keep that in mind and brainstorm a lot of those writing ideas when you're thinking about that college application process.
For us, for me, I would say number one, don't get too overwhelmed. I know this can be a bit of a stressful process, and just reach out to your friends, not high school friends, but I mean other people who have been to college, who have their experiences. What did they do? And try to find, some options that way.
And I think just to add to what Jackie said, use your admission counselor as a resource. I was too afraid to do that when I was going through my own college application process, but we're here to be your champions and your allies and your advocates. And I don't want to speak for all of the admission counselors here, but my favorite part of the work that we do is being able to connect with students and start meeting with them as juniors and watch them, decide that they're going to come to campus and thrive once they get here. So don't be afraid to use us as a resource. We're all kind of figuring out what a post-pandemic college application process is going to look like. And don't be afraid to reach out to us, because we're here to help you, and that's what we want to do.
And if I could add on to that, because I get very excited every time the question tip comes there, because I always say, no matter how simple or sophisticated the question may be, ask it. It helps me. It allows me to kind of be passionate about what I love, operationalize a lot of the things that I do. Noticing that, yes, we are a large institution. So that, yes, it does help me, but it helps me to help you as an admissions counselor. So asking questions. If there's anything else that I wanted to add, is just continuing to work hard in school. Present is very important because it does impact the application. It impacts your future. So those are some of the things to kind of keep in mind as time does progress. But if anything, just ask questions. Working hard in school is very important, and engaged. Take a look at some of the campus events that they're doing, the admissions events, college specific events. You don't have to have a specific major in mind right now, but time will progress and you'll kind of realize that going forward. So that's kind of the things that I like to add there.
And I would say, I think all of this has been incredibly helpful advice. And I would say that knowing yourself and your passions and trying to really get at what is going to make you happy over the next 4 years of your life, because it's a long stretch of time, is really critical. And that was probably the most intimidating aspect for me as a high school student, was understanding what that meant. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and that was okay. Maybe you just want to explore everything, and maybe you know exactly what you want to do, but communicating all of that within your personal statements or within the supplemental essays is really, really helpful for us to determine whether we can meet the things that you are looking for. So also just try and relax as much as you can. And I know that's incredibly hard, but it's also really important.
I think the advice I would give is be very strategic on where you apply, because a lot of schools, some have free applications, some have very expensive ones, and you don't want to spend a couple $100s applying to schools that may be like a safety net. Be very honest with yourself of, do I really want to go to the school, but maybe they have a $200 application. Save that money for later down the road. Apply to a couple schools and just do what feels best for you.
Great advice all around. Thank you all for sharing. I have one additional question here, and again, feel free to respond in the order in which you presented. The question is, give an interesting or fun fact about your school.
That's a great question. I think it's hard for probably many of us to decide on one, right? But for UNCW, I'd say my favorite fun fact is that 2019, we are using a lot of data from 2019 since 2020 was so crazy, but in 2019, we were ranked 4th amongst all master serving institutions, for study abroad programs. And so that's a huge element of our school. I think we as admissions counselors struggle, at least indirect admissions, struggle to sell students to come to campus when we have such great study abroad opportunities, because we feel like as soon as you get here, you're just going to jump on a plane and go somewhere amazing. But that's just as much of a, your campus experience and the college experience overall that we want you all to have. So if that's something that you're interested in as a student, know that UNCW has a strength. I know there's many universities here tonight that also have those strengths. Ask about those opportunities. A lot of us now have amazing tools that show you partnership programs, partnered institutions across the globe, ways that you can fund that to make it just as affordable as spending a semester domestically here in the United States. That's really important as well. So utilize those resources. Again, utilize us as contacts to find those specific trips and opportunities to make sure you take advantage of them throughout your career.
And I would just like to say that for Falmouth University, we're the 2nd largest creative arts university, which I forgot to mention in the presentation. But also just to bear in mind with UK universities, it can be a lot more affordable than studying in the US if you're looking to go out of state. So definitely keep, international schools in mind. You'd be surprised.
I think one of the most fun facts about UNC Asheville is that sustainability is one of our core values. And so as part of our commitment to sustainability and sustainable principles, we are not only a Bee Campus USA, but we are also a Tree Campus USA and a Forager Campus. So all across our campus, as students walk from class to class or back to their dorms, we have figs, we have berries, and we have herbs that students can grab and take to cook with or to snack on. And so I think that's kind of a fun fact about UNCA.
And Cooper, 2 fun facts. One is that every admitted student receives a half-price tuition scholarship immediately upon acceptance. So $22,275 comes right back into your pocket. And that's in honor of Peter Cooper's commitment to affordable education. So in honor of that, we give you Peter Cooper's birthday off in February. And so no school on that day. It's just a random birthday day. There's a big celebration in Peter Cooper Square and everybody eats cupcakes. So it's a lot of fun.
If there's any fun facts that I can say about George Mason, there's a lot. One includes our diversity. We are a very diverse institution, so that contributes to a lot of the students' pathways, to the learning experience, to the experiential learning experience, and also towards the community as well. So that's kind of one thing. And I also like to touch upon the fact that we do have numerous academic experiences here. So regardless of, you know exactly what you want to do, you're totally undecided, you are leaning one way or another way, there's always that opportunity to tailor what we have towards your interest. And I'm kind of a pretty much a testament to that, because I was a Mason student, and the way I came into the university is much different than when I came out. So it's interesting to see how that's transpired. So yeah, those are kind of a couple.
Our fun fact would be that our school mascot is a skunk. And the story behind that was a couple years ago, a few students and faculty members created a soccer team, and we were notoriously bad. And so we said, the Art Academy really stinks. And we're like, oh, that's a great idea. Like, the Art Academy stinks, and that's our mascot. So we like to make fun of ourselves a little bit, try not to take it too seriously. And every student who is accepted gets a T-shirt with a nice little skunk pin too. So something to look forward to.
Thank you all for sharing that information. Extremely helpful and useful as students kind of decide what is next for them after high school. With that said, that concludes our college fair for today. I want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you to our amazing presenters, but also thank you to all of our attendees. Before we close, I do have a few announcements. So as you close this Zoom session, a survey will appear. It's approximately 4 questions, but please complete the survey. It's extremely useful for us as we aim to improve our virtual college fair offerings in the future. And then I also want to remind you that a recording will be available within about a week or so. So feel free to visit strivescan.com/Virginia. Again, thank you so much to our amazing presenters, but also thank you to our amazing attendees. I hope everyone has a great evening. Good night.